All right, here we go. Redman, what's good?
You already know. Brick City's finest, we here.
Oh, yeah. This is truly a pleasure, man. One of my favorite rappers of all time.
Emma?
Oh, yeah.
Good
Absolutely.
shit. I work hard for that.
We're in the same age range, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we still here, looking fresh.
Looking good.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Thin, healthy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It's about your health right now.
Sometimes you see people in our age range, it's like, oh, shit, what the hell? What happened to you?
Hey, look, I be seeing motherfuckers that's 20 years old. I be like, damn, them motherfuckers look old as hell. You know, the young generation, they got all types of drugs now. They got all kinds of drugs that's fucking them up, making them look old before they old. And, you know, hey, we blessed. Put it that way. I'm just blessed, bro. I'm just blessed.
Yeah, man.
We do the right
Definitely
thing, you
happy for
blessed. Yes, sir.
So, I mean, we've interviewed you before, but I've never actually done the interview myself. So,
Okay.
You know what I mean, we're gonna do it right this time around.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So, what part of New Jersey did you grow up in?
Newark, New Jersey, bro. Brick City all day. Holla.
Brick City.
Yes,
So,
sir.
what was Brick City, you know, during the 80s like?
Brick City in the 80s was it was pretty wild. Like my area, my block, 20th Street and South Orange Avenue, between 13th and 12th Avenue, like all through that region, the Westwood region, it was pretty wild because my block, you know, we had a lot of families, and you know, back in the day, you know, the families back then was like good time families, you know, like they were big, you know, it was a house full of people, and the whole block was just full of fucking dudes, yo. Like my block was so many dudes and gangster motherfuckers till you, every time you came out your door, you just had to be fighting or you had to be getting into some shit. We ain't had too many bad females around our way, so I guess that's why we were so wild, because any female that came around our way, everybody was on her titties because she was bad, and it was just so full of dudes, and there wasn't enough females, so motherfuckers used to wild out around our way. So at the end of the day, you know, Brick City in the 80s kept you on your toes. It was, you know, still healing from the 60 riots. You know, a lot of people from Newark, New Jersey went to Vietnam, you know, from the riots. My pops was one of them. You know, my mom's, you know, she's, a lot of people don't know, but, you know, as far as Brick City, like my dad served the Marines right out of Newark, New Jersey from the riots, and went to Vietnam and did 2 tours. And my mother, she did affirmative action for Newark, New Jersey for over 30, 40 years since the riots, since 70s, since the 80s. So it was a big, you know, come up, but we was well respected, you know.
Now, I remember there was the movie New Jersey Drive.
Yeah, that shit was shot in Brooklyn, but it was a good movie.
But it was about New Jersey.
Yeah.
And it was about the carjacking and all the car theft that was happening. Like, did you
Yeah, that
see
wasn't in the
growing up?
80s though. That was more like the 90s. Yeah, that was more like the 90s. That was more like the 90s.
But you were still hanging out in New Jersey in the 90s.
Oh, absolutely.
So how bad did that get?
Oh, it got bad. Like it got real bad. Like, you know, everybody think like New Jersey is just known for carjacking. No, that was like, you know, that was just easy work, you know, that we got known for. But, you know, it's just way worse than that, far as like the murders and, you know, the dumb shit that happened. But at that time, we were definitely known for jacking a lot of cars, and it was crazy. It was just it got so bad to it was like a fad to, like, you know, and my crew that I hung around, you know, they were part of that, you know, so I know what it was like, and yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. And New Jersey Drive, they did a good job on tapping in on some of the events, the happenings that went down as far as the carjacking, like at the end when the van fell over, crashed, and I guess, you know, some of the people died in there. One of them was a pregnant girl. That was like a true story. So they kind of tapped in to some of the events that happened in the 90s as far as the carjacking. But You know, as far as New Jersey Drive, it was like a little bit more, like 100% more, you know, worse than that. But it was good. It set a balance. It was good. I like it.
You know, growing up, like, how involved did you get into the street shit yourself?
You know, like as you hear in my songs, man, I never glorified like what I did or sold drugs or, you know, like I sold coke, I sold weed. You know, at an early age, I was just so into music till like, you know, my brother and them and my crew, they were heavily active. Like my brother, he did 10, 11 years. All my crew members that I hung with, they did 10 or 12 years and better. All of them. I was like one of the only ones that just bared off and did music. And I tell them all the time, they have they have a responsibility in my career because while I hung with them, I just knew that wasn't my life because I didn't want to run. I didn't want to be looking over my shoulder. And, you know, a couple of robberies we went on taught me that lesson, you know. You know, after one robbery, I got stomped out and shit under a car because I ain't want to run, but my crew knew to run. So it was like after that last robbery, I was just like, fuck that, you know, this not for me. I even told my brother, like at that time, because he the only one that came back for me. I was like, nah, this ain't for me. And after that, my brother did 12 years, 11 years. So I never really glorified that. I sold coke, weed at an early age. When I sold coke, I did it big though. You know what I'm talking about? Like I did it at an early age where I knew this was bullshit what y'all was doing. Me and my boy 2 Tech, rest in peace, we taking it to another level. And even at that age, we had older dudes that was mad at us, that was threatening us. And I even knew, I was like, damn, we getting threatened? We only 18 and shit. And the older dudes is mad. And I was like, and then when I seen the event happen with my boy, my partner 2 Tech, far as the coke, and I was like, shit, I don't want this shit either. So after that, I just fully went into music, fully went in. Left everybody, they knew where I was at. I sold weed on the side to get records and equipment that I needed, but I didn't go a heavy level. I just kept it at a level where I had customers to get what I needed, and that was it. But no, I wasn't really heavily active in it. I knew at an early age what I wanted, and that wasn't for me. And plus, I'm sorry if I'm talking too long. Plus, I was one of those niggas that didn't like to get up in the morning. I knew from school, I hated to get up in the morning. I didn't want to get up working and taking orders from anybody at 6 in the morning, catching a bus to take orders. That was the main fucking reason I rap now. So y'all know. It was because I'm talented and skilled. I love the music. But the main reason is because I don't want to get the fuck up in the morning and take orders at 6 o'clock, catching a bus.
Now, didn't your mom kick you out of the house for selling weed?
Yes, she did. Well, she kicked me out of the house because it was coke. And my pops kicked me out for the weed. I was at the dinner table and shit, and I'm just coming in off the block and shit. I go wash my hands and shit. So, you know, I'm being fast and shit. You know, I'm so much into myself. I got shit moving and shit. I got my hat on and I had my coke bottles up under my hat. And I'm sitting at the dinner table like an asshole with the hat on, knowing she gonna tell me to take it off. And I'm just sitting there just gulping down, you know, in my zone. She said, take that goddamn hat off at the dinner table. I'm like, come on, Mom. Coke everywhere. She immediately packed my shit, put my ass right out. And I don't blame her. I deserved it because she told me don't do it, don't have her around her crib, around her house. And I violated, so I deserve to have my ass kicked out. Whatever.
Okay. So at what point did you say, I'm going to start rapping?
Well, I was DJing first since 12. And I started really rapping at 16. I was here and there with my boy Craig Victor, Daryl Victor. First, my boy 2 Tech, RIP, that passed away. Me and him was partners for a while. And he got more aggressive on the street side a little bit. So I teamed up with my boy Daryl Victor. And we was just tapping in, just, you know, learning. We liked what we heard on the radio. We liked all the music. I was DJing at the time. I did parties. So we was always tapping in with rapping here and there, doing little fashion shows here and there. Once I heard EPMD album, Strictly Business, that's when the motherfucking light bulb went off over the head. I immediately, you can ask my sister, Roz and shit. Soon as I heard that record, I pulled back the curtain because that was the only thing that separated our rooms and shit back in the day. If you ghetto, you know about that shit. Pulled back the curtain, I told her motherfucking ass, I said, yo, you better start rapping now. Let me DJ for you because I'm going to do this shit. I told her at 17 or 18, it was around that age, I said, I'm going to do this. You hear this shit that's going on? They got a slow flow, it's easy as funk. I like that funk. That's what I'm talking about. And finally somebody did it. And it was EPMD. And I told her, I said, yo, I'm going to do this shit, Roz. I'm going to do this shit. I told her at a young age, I was cocky with my statement too. I was real cocky with it. I was like, I'm going to do this shit, bitch. You better fucking start rapping now because I'm going to do it. And sure enough, yeah.
I remember when the album dropped and it had Redman on it, I'm thinking that's like the tobacco, the tobacco brand Redman. That's the only Redman I was familiar with. Like, how did you come up with the name Redman?
You see how you said my name? White people say my name like Redman, and black people say my name Redman. What's good, my nigga Redman? Right? You say I like that. The white people be like, "Hey, Mr. Redman." Redman. They be like Redman. Yo, I was a red dude. Like I grew out my red hair and all that shit. Like I was one of those dudes that I was light skinned. I had red hair. I was yellow as hell. And, I had a red face when it was cold and, just the whole shit with the snowball and the face and they naming me Red around the way. I just added the man later on when I started rocking.
Okay. So how did you end up hooking up with EPMD?
At a club in Sensations. Yo, listen, I love my Jesus. I love my God because he always, it's something about me. He got that light over me. Like EPMD, I heard they fucking record and I said I wanted to do it, right? They the one that gave me that fucking spark, right? So I'm in the crib and shit. I just came off the block and shit. They said they want to, my boy Do It All Do and my boy Fudge, they said MC Lyte was supposed to be at the club. So I was like, all right. I ain't want to go and shit. At first, I was like, nah, I'm going to just chill. But I was like, fuck it. We'll go see MC Lyte. I rock with MC Lyte. Shit, I'll be bumping her shit. That's my girl. At that yet, I wasn't even rocking yet, but I was fucking with Lyte because I was a DJ. We went down to the club and she canceled. And EPMD showed in her place. So we actually went to the club to go talk about an artist that, my boys wanted me to DJ for. I don't think it was Do It All Do. I think it was for somebody else who they was talking about. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed up on that. But our mission was to go into EPMD room and go in there and just, I don't know, just chop it up with him. And I talked, and what's funny is I talked to my boy Do It All Do from the Lords of the Underground. That's my boy. That's my right hand right there. And he was telling me the real story on it. He said they called E or they talked to E beforehand saying they was coming or whatever. I don't know. I didn't know. My thing was from my point and perspective was I was going to the club to see MC Lyte. She canceled and EPMD showed up. We were supposed to go back there to talk about an MC. I was back there with my boy Do It All doing Fudge Pudge and me. We was back there with Parrish Smith, Erick Sermon, and K Solo. I think, yeah. And they was rocking. My boys started rocking. They was, I guess they was trying to, and E said, yo, let me hear you rock. And I was like, nah, I'm the DJ. I just DJ. I was cut killer, I had like one rhyme and shit, from just fucking around. And he left it alone. They was continue talking. And he asked me again. Like for some reason, he was like, I know it's something about this motherfucker he's not saying. And he pressured me. He was like, yo, let me hear something. Let me hear something. I was like, I only got one rhyme. Let me hear something. And I started spitting, and this nigga was like, yo, Paris Smith was like, E. He told him right there, I heard him too. He said, E. He said, that's your K Solo right there. If you don't get him, I'm gonna get him. He said, I'm gonna get him. So he said, all right, you know what? Come on, you coming on stage with us tonight. I went on stage that night with niggas I knew from my hood in the audience. Yo, them niggas was like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga doing up there? I was up there, yo, I was ready to shit a chicken because I was so enthused and amazed that I was on stage. And they was like, and then they said, yo, this is our new artist. What's your name? I was like, Redman. What's your name? Redman. He's like, I just said Red. This is our new artist, Red and shit. Y'all gonna see him soon. And I just think I farted right after that. I just said, and the people in the audience, they was like, what? We just was with this nigga, right? And I got off the stage, and this is the illest part. Got off the stage, right? I don't know if my boy like me telling this shit, but I tell it anyway. But got off the stage, and I'm a real nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I'm very loyal. I think that's what kills me sometimes because I'm too loyal. I'm very honest and loyal with motherfuckers, anyone I deal with. And I knew that we was there talking about somebody else. And at the end of the day, when E was passing the number and shit, you know, I was like letting my boy take the number because, you know, all right, cool, y'all. We back here because, okay, cool. I didn't sweat it. As my nigga E was passing the number to my boy, it was within a 3-2 second moment. I swear on my mama life. I memorized the last 7 numbers. I ain't memorized the area code. I memorized 7 numbers off that note as it was going hand to hand. I swear on my mama's life. As it went from this finger to that, my boy finger, I memorized it. Bang, he took it. I ain't suck about it, no. I kept that shit locked in, got somewhere where I could write it down, and I kept it. Yo, waited. Yo, 2 weeks, we ain't gonna pressure the man. Waited 2 weeks. Yo, what's good? Did you call E? No, you know what? I'm gonna call him this week. Cool. Yo, did you talk to him? Nah. He wasn't home and shit when I called. Oh, word? All right, cool. Whole month went by. Going on another month. Yo, you call E? Yeah, nah, I ain't calling this week. You know what? I'm gonna give him a call and shit. All right, cool. You know, I don't pressure nobody. I wait a week. You know, let niggas live. 3 months went by damn near. 2 months. Till at the end of the story, my boy said, yeah, I lost the number. I said, what? You lost the number? You know, we ain't had no cell phones and shit. You lost the number? Immediately. Went to my fucking Hanadex. Remember what I wrote down? Had that little piece of paper. I was like, okay, you want to play like that? I mean, maybe you did lose the number, but I ain't got no time for that shit. Called, didn't get no answer. Called, I talked to his sister, Kim. Called again. I think I talked to Mom Duke and shit. And then I finally reached this fat motherfucker. And man, he was like, yo, it was like 4 months. 4 months in, he was like, yo, I've been waiting for you to call. What the fuck? And I was so shocked that he said that. I was like, man, because my boy had to know. I was so happy to talk to the nigga. I almost started crying on him because I'm here. He's like, yo, what's good? Just meet me in McDonald's and shit out in Long Island. And yo, let's chop it up. And at that time, this is how God worked for me. At that time, that's when my pops found weed all over the floor. I don't know how my stash fell out my pocket on the floor, but I had like maybe 30 bags of weed all in the floor, and I left it there and left out the house. He came home from work and saw all that weed. That nigga said, nigga, get out. And I had to get out right then and there. And that was like a day or before, or a day after, where he told me to meet him. And when I met him in McDonald's, he said, yo, I told him I ain't had no place to live and shit. And he said, yo, you know, you could come out here to Long Island.
Gucci's absolutely the boogeyman of hip hop. Like, it's just certain individuals you just know that at any given moment it could go left.
Right.
Gucci's one of them. T.I.'s one of them. I told y'all that before. I don't know why y'all keep acting like T.I. ain't Gucci level crazy. Maybe
T.I. is Gucci level crazy.
Gucci might be T.I. level crazy.
You mean to tell me that if I walked up to your mother right in front of you and shot her in the face,
Yeah.
and then I left the country and you can't get to me, you wouldn't tell the police?
Hell no, where your mama stay at?